Think about it. We voluntarily put a small, flavored lump of synthetic rubbery stuff into our mouths. We chew it relentlessly, 4 minutes, sometimes hours. We don't swallow it. It offers no nutrition. We just masticate, push it around with our tongues, shape it, pop bubbles with it, and when we're done, we spit it out, or worse, stick it under a table. It's a bizarre ritual, normalized to the point of invisibility. But peel back that wrapper, and the story is anything but ordinary. That little wad in your pocket, it's a time traveler, a global diplomat, a battleground for social norms and billion-dollar industries. It's been spat upon by kings, banned in nations, chewed by soldiers under fire, and launched into space. Its journey begins not in a sterile lab, but deep within the steamy jungles of Central America, with a sticky, milky sap oozing from wounded trees. How did that become the multi-billion-dollar minty fresh, bubble-blowing obsession we know today? The answer involves failed inventions, accidental discoveries, relentless marketing genius, fierce rivalries, and a whole lot of jaw exercise. This is the surprisingly epic story of chewing gum. Buckle up, because it's stickier than you think. Before the foil-wrapped sticks and sugar-free pellets, humans still chewed. The urge seems primal. Ancient Europeans gnawed on birch bark tar, possibly for medicinal reasons or just to clean teeth, leaving 9,000-year-old teeth marks as evidence. The ancient Greeks chewed mastiche, the resin from the mastic tree, enjoying its fresh, pine-like flavor and breath-freshening properties. The Mayans and Aztecs, however, were the true pioneers of the gum habit as we might recognize it. Centuries before Columbus, they discovered chicle. This viscous latex bled from the sapodilla tree when its bark was cut. They boiled it down, let it solidify, and chewed it. It wasn't for fun. Primarily, chicle was practical. It staved off hunger and thirst on long journeys through dense jungle. It helped clean teeth. It was even used to fix pottery and fill cavities. For the Aztecs, it held social weight. Only children and unmarried women were allowed to chew it publicly. Men caught chewing could face severe punishment. Respectable women chewed discreetly, hidden behind their shawls. When Spanish conquistadors arrived, they observed the practice with curiosity, sometimes disdain. Bernal Diaz del Castillo, chronicler of courts, noted Aztec vendors selling a kind of gum made from the juice of a plant. But chicle remained largely confined to Mesoamerica. In the burgeoning cities of Europe and America, alternatives emerged. Paraffin wax became a popular, if somewhat unsatisfying, chewing substance in the 19th century. Spruce gum, resin collected from spruce trees in the northeastern US and Canada, gained traction as a commercial product around 1848. Thanks to John B. Curtis and his state of Maine pure spruce gum. It was brittle, often gritty, and the flavor didn't last long, but it offered a novel sensation. Chewing was functional, medicinal, or a fleeting novelty. The idea of a long-lasting, pleasantly flavored, mass-produced chew purely for enjoyment, that world didn't exist yet. The stage was set, waiting for a stumble and a spark of ingenuity. Enter Thomas Adams, a 50-something photographer and inventor down on his luck in Staten Island, New York. Around 1869, his guest was Antonio de Santa Anna, the exiled former dictator of Mexico. Yes, that Santa Anna of Alamo infamy. Santa Anna wasn't just visiting. He had a plan. He'd brought a large quantity of chicle with him. He knew chicle was tough, waterproof, and elastic. He was convinced it was the perfect, cheap alternative to expensive rubber, which was in huge demand for carriage, tires, boots, and industrial applications. Santa Anna dreamed of a rubber fortune and enlisted Adams, known as a tinkerer, to help make it happen. Adams, desperate for a success, poured his energy and savings into experiments. He tried vulcanizing chicle-like rubber, mixing it with different chemicals, subjecting it to heat and pressure. Failure after failure piled up. The chicle wouldn't hold its shape under stress. It lacked the resilience of proper rubber. The rubber dream was crumbling, and Adams faced financial ruin. The warehouse was full of useless chicle bales. Defeated and pondering his next move in late 1870, legend has it Adams wandered into a drugstore. He overheard a young girl asking for paraffin wax gum. He remembered Santa Anna chewing chicle to pass the time during their experiments. A spark ignited. What if chicle wasn't rubber but gum? Rushing back to his workshop, Adams grabbed a chunk of chicle and boiled it in his kitchen. He poured the molten sap onto his marble table, dusted it with powdered sugar, and rolled it thin. He cut it into small strips. He took some to the local drugstore. The owner, skeptical but willing, agreed to sell it for a penny apiece. Adams returned the next day. To his astonishment, the druggist reported it had all sold out. People wanted more. Adams Sr. saw the glimmer of hope. He refined the process, adding flavor, first licorice, calling it Adams New York Gum No. 1, snapping and stretching. It was an instant, local hit. By 1871, he patented a gum-making machine. He opened the world's first chewing gum factory in New Jersey. He wasn't selling rubber substitutes anymore. He was selling pure, chewy enjoyment. Adams had stumbled upon the answer. The failed rubber substitute wasn't a failure at all. It was the foundation of an entirely new industry. He transformed a jungle curiosity into America's first mass-produced chewing gum. The chicle was finally worth something, but not for the reasons anyone expected. Adams' success was just the starting gun. The race was on to perfect the chew. Early gum was crude, sticky, grainy, and lost flavor fast. Flavors were basic, licorice, sassafras, but visionaries saw potential. William Wrigley Jr., a soap salesman from Philadelphia, entered the scene almost by accident. In 1891, he started offering baking powder premiums with his soap. Seeing baking powder sold better than soap, he switched. Then, he offered 2 packs of chewing gum with each can of baking powder. Guess what sold better? By 1893, Wrigley was all in on gum, launching Juicy Fruit and Wrigley's Spearmint. His genius. Aggressive marketing. He mailed free samples to millions. Listed in phone books, he gave free packs to immigrants arriving at Ellis Island. He flooded the market. But gum still had limitations. Blowing bubbles? Forget it. Early chicle gum was too brittle. Enter Walter Demure, a 23-year-old accountant working at the Fleer Chewing Gum Company in 1928. Fleer had been trying for years to create a less sticky, more elastic gum formula suitable for bubbles, but batches kept failing. Demure, tinkering in the lab during his downtime, stumbled upon a pink-colored batch. Food coloring was all he had on hand. That was unusually stretchy and less sticky. He tested it, blowing the first successful, non-shattering bubbles. He called it Blibber Blubber, but the company wisely renamed it Double Bubble. Bubblegum was born, creating a craze and a whole new market segment. Kids, the gum itself also evolved. World War II was a pivotal moment. Chicle supplies from Central America were disrupted. Necessity widespread innovation. Chemists developed synthetic gum bases using petroleum-derived polymers, vinyl acetate, and other plastics. This new base was cheaper, more consistent, and didn't rely on unpredictable jungle harvests. It also held flavors and sweeteners better and longer. Post-war, sugar-free gum emerged, pioneered by T-Brie and later perfected by Wrigley with Orbit in the 70s, and the aspartame-sweetened revolution of Trident. Gum became functional, freshening breath, whitening teeth, even delivering nicotine or caffeine. The simple chicle chew had morphed into a highly engineered, multifunctional product. From jungle sap to lab-made polymers, the evolution was driven by accident. Marketing blitzes, wartime pressure, and constant scientific tinkering. Chewing gum didn't just fill mouths. It filled cultural niches and sparked controversies. In America, it became synonymous with casual confidence, even rebellion. Early 20th century etiquette columns fretted over ladies chewing in public. Movie theaters banned it, fearing sticky seats, a foreshadowing of a persistent problem. But gum chewed on. During World War I and II, it became a vital morale booster. The US military included Wrigley's gum in ration kits. Soldiers traded it, used it to calm nerves, and shared it with grateful civilians overseas, becoming a potent symbol of American culture. It was currency and comfort. Back home, gum cemented its place in youth culture. Baseball cards were inserted into packs of gum, creating an enduring collectible frenzy. Bubble-blowing contests became playground staples. Brands battled fiercely. The Spearmint Twins ads for Wrigley's Double Mint portrayed wholesome fun. Bazooka Joe comics offered tiny doses of adventure and humor. Gum was fun, accessible, and ubiquitous. But its very popularity sowed seeds of backlash. The litter problem became impossible to ignore. Sidewalks, park benches, and especially the undersides of school desks became sticky minefields. Cities like Singapore, famously clean, implemented harsh fines and even corporal punishment for gum littering in 1992, only partially relaxing the ban years later for therapeutic gum. Schools across the globe banned chewing during class. Gum became a small act of defiance for students. It permeated language. Bubble-headed, gum up the works, stick to it like gum. Iconic images like Alfred Eisenstadt's 1945 photo of a sailor kissing a nurse in Times Square, both with gum visibly clenched in their jaws, cemented its place in the everyday American scene. It was a small luxury during the Great Depression, a piece of Americana exported globally, a source of minor rebellion, and a major litter headache. Chewing gum became far more than a confection. It became a social signifier and a persistent environmental challenge. Today, the chewing gum landscape is complex. Global sales remain massive, billions of dollars annually, but face headwinds, concerns about sugar, artificial sweeteners, and plastic waste. That synthetic gum base doesn't biodegrade easily have dampened enthusiasm in some markets. The environmental impact is undeniable. Gum litter is the second most common form of street litter after cigarette butts, costing municipalities millions annually to remove. Cities continue to wage war on sticky sidewalks. Yet, gum persists. It's evolved into niches. Functional gums for energy, focus, or teeth whitening dominate alongside classic mints and fruit flavors. Biodegradable gum bases, like those made from chicle or synthetic but degradable polymers, are emerging, though still a small part of the market. Brands constantly innovate with textures, intense flavor bursts, and novel formats, The simple act of chewing itself is studied for cognitive benefits, stress relief, and appetite control. Walk down any street, anywhere in the world, and you'll likely see someone chewing. From Thomas Adams' desperate kitchen experiment to Walter Dimmer's pink bubble breakthrough, chewing gum represents a fascinating arc of human ingenuity. It's a story of accidental discovery, transforming into global industry, of cultural adoption sparking both adoration and irritation, of science constantly reinventing a simple pleasure. That little piece of stretchy, flavored material, it connects us to ancient Mayan trails, battlefields of the 20th century, playgrounds, and the ongoing challenge of living sustainably. It's a testament to how a seemingly trivial human whim, nurtured by persistence and marketing, can become embedded in the fabric of daily life across the planet. We put it in, we chew, we dispose of it responsibly. And the story, much like a good piece of gum, still has plenty of flavor left.